On the come up, better sit low. The product base, better drip though. Pocket fat when the chips low. Alexo, crypto, fit the party like a disco. Band bass like my wallet, yo. Stay true to the digital. Alexo, crypto. Alexo, crypto. Alexo, crypto. Alexo, crypto. What you know about juice? Making the moves, data flow casual, breaking the news. Revenue proof, a building portfolios taking well over exceptional gain. I'm trapping this game, so participation ain't a hard knock. I put in the work so you got knowledge. You ain't drawing with luck when you following us. The result is a pants full of fat pockets. Bada bang, that's an otter game with an auto flame. With a lot of hate, get about the lane, ain't about the trade. Have another trade, get another play. They playing God so pretentious. Grapes in these waters forbidden. Well indeed, that's a felony. Don't look at me, but it's TRB. Have you heard of TRB? I don't know. On the come up, better sit low. The product base, better drip though. Pocket fat when the chips low. Alexo, crypto, fit the party like a disco. Band bass like my wallet, yo. Stay true to the digital. Alexo, crypto, on the come up, better sit low. The product base, better drip though. Pocket fat when the chips low. Alexo, crypto, fit the party like a disco. Band bass like my wallet, yo. Stay true to the digital. Alexo, crypto. Alexo, crypto. Alexo, crypto. Alexo, crypto. Alexo, crypto.
Okay. We pride ourselves on starting early here. What's going on? It's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Alexo Crypto. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to the other gang. Today, we do have our friend on here, our great friend Army Piper. So I'm just gonna jump straight over to him right now. What's going on? Otter Gang's in the house. We got all the people out here. We got Alexander G. He's got all the noises. We love you, Piper, man. Always coming through.
I got sound effects for you, bro. I got sound effects for you.
Oh, we're gonna have to get otter noises, as we like to say in the chat. Justin Eubanks, all set. Anthony Soprano, Mr. J, may be a band-aid. It always takes me a while to read that. And French Toaster. What's going on, guys? We are here. We have had a wonderful, wonderful pump today. I mean, sheesh. And we got our friend on here to help us dissect this thing. I mean, we did a little bit of a morning vid that you guys requested from me to do in the morning, what I was looking for, what the trade setup was. And I mean, when we look at it, it was pretty astronomical, right? It was pretty astronomical. And Piper, what do you think about this beautiful, beautiful pump?
Well, I've been expecting it, man. It like this has been in the works, in the making now, going back since let's see here, 14 February. So about 2 weeks now. It's been in the works. I mean, it's looking good. If you take a look at what we got going on here, I didn't know if you had my chart up because I can't
do
see
have your
what you're
chart up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You gotta let me know. If you take a look at what we got here, we had a break out of this range here, and that would be the 0.66 of the golden pocket. You can see we broke into the golden pocket, had resistance here, came back in, came down, retested that 0.618, said, hey, we're good, and up it went. And then we got up above that 0.66 there of the golden pocket. And once it got in there, it got caught right here on top of this upper resistance being the golden range of the predictive ranges of my indicators that I like to use. When I'm not using Market Cipher, I use something called Chart Prime.
And we love Chart Prime here too, man. It's okay. Go ahead,
Yep.
Chart Prime the hell out of us, man. We appreciate it, man.
All right, cool.
We need some
Yeah,
Chart Prime alpha here. I'm like a a young Padawan when it comes to Chart Prime.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that most indicators out there are just rebrands of a lot of stuff. I can legitimately say that Chart Prime and Market Cipher both had very good developers behind, and if you have the money to spend on both, you can't beat that oscillator of the Market Cipher on top of Chart Prime. So
it's the Wombo combo, man. I love it.
it is the Wombo combo. You're over there working both angles, aren't you?
I am always working as many angles as possible to make that money, brother.
All right, so take a look here. We got this upper trade band, lower trade band, the delta median right there. That's that blue line running beneath that green box there. That green box I dropped in there myself and said, guys, this is likely going to be because of this Fibonacci. That's the 66, right? 0.66 there. And then because of this delta blue, this is probably going to be our support range once we got above that 0.66. That's exactly what's happened here. And that resistance on top coming from the upper trade band, we typically trade between the two trade bands. And when we got above that delta and above that 0.66, I could not see us really coming back to drop back down into this 0.618. So I said, this is going to be your range of support. You've had multiple opportunities to hit longs off of this along the way. And then we started to get this descending triangle, which I talked about this morning, the descending wedge, I mean. This fallen wedge right here, if you look at what it's doing here, we had the top line here that I drew on there. And then we also had this auto printed trend line coming in from Chart Prime, but we had the bottom of this wedge being that 0.66. And I said, guys, this is a bearish pattern. Yeah. About 60 to 70% of the time, this breaks to the downside. I said, but looking at what I'm seeing on the oscillators, guys, and I pulled this up and said, we're starting to get a little rounding right here. And we're in that zero range of the oscillator. A lot of times we get that bounce off of that in that range and it comes back up just like we did here. I said, if that happens, I actually think that we're going to break this in the 30% odds to the upside. And that's exactly what happened. As soon as we got off the air this morning, it pumped right through that and just took off. So looking pretty good there on that. But overall bullishness, I've been pretty bullish for a couple of months. Shout out to Eric Wallen. I'm not sure if he's in the chat right now, but if he is, he loves this chart because he knows I love this chart.
It's Piper's chart, man. This is like the one, the myth, the legend chart, the one that we all try to live up to.
Hey, this chart has steered me in the correct direction all the way down here so over a year ago, it steered me right when everybody said we're going to collapse. And I was like, nope, we're going up sometime in the next month because we were running towards the 786. And I did not think that anywhere, even when we were bottoming out down here, I said, guys, I don't see us breaking the 786. For those that don't know and have never seen this chart, if you're new here, I'm gonna share this with the Otter Gang.
Yeah, the Otter Gang needs some alpha, man. That's why you're here, man.
This is a Fibonacci channel going back to the entire history of Bitcoin on Bitstamp, and we never broke the golden pocket until this cycle. Which makes sense. We had a really bad economic situation going on post COVID and all that. I said, look, we broke the golden pocket here, but I don't ever see us breaking this 786 and going into the platinum pocket. If we do, we got really bad stuff going on. And it has played out 100% along the way. Now the horizontal fibs that I have on there, they're actually measured from the candle close tops on a weekly chart to the candle close bottoms on a weekly chart. Okay. And so looking back at history, just real fast here, the reason that I got super bullish on my chart is because we've never closed a candle below the 0.66 that did not either put us back into phase two really low or launch it off from there, right? So sitting there on that 0.66, we came into phase three, phase one being the bottoming. Phase two runs between the 50% and the golden pocket. Okay. And then phase three, hitting that 0.66, we go up from there. If you look at this previous cycle, this had the scenario that I just talked about where we lost the 0.66 and then it went back into phase two again after phase three. But that was way out. We got in there early. People like to talk about that we went up really fast and early this cycle? Not
Mhm.
really, guys. Not really. If you take a look at this,
Yeah,
the
because that's
last
all the
cycle,
way. That's way past the like the golden pocket there. Like we've shot up to the platinum
yeah,
pocket basically there on that first initial
exactly. And
push
if I do
before
the
the
date
before the
range here,
drop.
yeah, if I do the date range of how quickly we went into phase three before the last halving, it was 329 days. It was almost a year out from the
Eric
halving.
Wallen in the chat. Piper couldn't wait to fire up his
Couldn't
chart.
wait, bro.
Let's
Eric
go.
Wallen charts up.
Oh man, too good.
But if we take a look at what happened on this cycle, man, this cycle we didn't hit that phase three, that phase two as early as we had previously. We didn't
Mhm.
actually hit it until there, and that was only 168 days out. If we go back to the first cycle and look at when we got into phase two before the halving, that one officially got in because it kept rejecting here. We officially got into that like 49 days. So
Yeah.
in comparison to last cycle got into to phase two way out,
Way,
almost a
yeah.
full year out. So we
Yeah.
were not pumping that early. We were pumping hard, but in relation from the bottom to the top, no,
No.
we were not in there early at all this round. And when we had this rejection here and we came down and hit that 0.66 with the wick down to the 618, I was
Mm.
like, that's it. This is it, guys. If we get up and we hold above that 786 there, and let me zoom that in just a little bit so people can see what I'm talking about. When we hit that 786 there and we got above it, I was like, the
Yep.
next step is $56,000. And we've been saying this now for about 2 months. So
Sheesh. Yeah. My
yeah,
God, like what a move.
was not shocked by it at all. It was just self-fulfilling prophecy, you know.
Absolutely. No, like even this morning, like I gave the trade setup this morning. I said it was very simple and it was a break of a downtrend, but we knew like unless we get pushed down to like a liquidity grab around 50,000, this is a beautiful consolidation flag, right? And it was just like the more sideways we go, the more likely we are to go up, right? And I've been yelling that from the rooftops for the last like 4 or 5 days, right? So I mean, maybe we got a pump because of the new baby otter coming into the world. What do you think?
Okay, that's actually the truth of the matter, just so you know.
Oh
All the
man.
TA in the world is just made up. This is astrology for men. The truth of the matter is that it's all because we have a baby otter announcement that came out yesterday.
That's the
And so
one.
congrats to you, man. I want to give
Oh,
you a
man.
shout out for
Thank you so much.
having good swimmers. Good swimmers.
Oh. Well, otters are swimming downstream. They're doing all right. No, thank you. So now we've had this pump, okay, and we've hit this 55,000 level just recently. Well, for 54,999, okay, whatever. We've hit 55,000. What's your thoughts? Are we going to get a retest of these previous highs around 53,000? Are we going to continue pushing upwards? There's not much that stands in front of us. What is
Well,
your
I do
idea
wanna-
from here on forward? Because it's Monday, right? Like this is like, okay, big pump.
This
now
is
what?
Monday. So a couple of things here that I want to show. One, we did wick right up almost perfectly to this upper white band of the predictive ranges. This is called the upper resistance, is what I call it.
Okay.
Upper resistance band. There's one at the bottom also. I call that the lower support. So see the white line, lower support,
Lower
upper,
support, upper, yeah,
resistance.
yeah. And then you got the middle line there, yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful.
What I think is going to happen here is I think we're going to come back for a retest on this upper trade band and confirm it because we have not come back to retest this once we broke through it.
And that's around
Bitcoin is one of those-
52.7 there.
It's about 52.5. So a nice
52.5,
psychological
okay.
number
Nice,
also,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
A lot of times when we come back and have a lot of resistance like we had back here for weeks now,
Mhm.
and we bust through the door, as TA Tim likes to say, Tim Warren, we got to go back and close that door, guys.
Yeah.
We busted through it like the Kool-Aid man, and we have not
Oh,
gone
yeah.
back to close that door. So, oh yeah. So I think we're going to come back and do that, and that would still be bullish in my opinion. It would still be a $52,500 retest.
Yeah.
Might give you that other opportunity to enter into another long, like we were doing here and here. Just saying, hint, hint.
Hint, hint. Yeah.
Not financial advice, hint, hint. But looking that that bounce at 52.5 would be a bullish retest for me. And then I do believe we're going to be running on this chart because this one back here is from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
This one is from wick closes, the candle closes and opens.
Okay.
So yeah, so this one here is going to be 57,545 for the platinum pocket there at the 786. And then of course probably get a decent rejection there. Ironically enough, that right section right there, that's the upper frame of the predictive range. If we break that, it starts a whole new predictive range area for us.
Oh,
so
okay. So that's...
yeah, so I do see that if we get up here, a retest of this line would be very bullish, and then we're going to probably fight on this for a while to get into that 786. We break into that 786, you can pretty much almost put your money on it with a stop loss. There, we're going to head up to 63K because that 63K is going to be the top of the platinum pocket. And like I just showed you back here, when we break the 786, where do we head? The 887.
The 887, yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, I love that. I mean, where we are now in relation to the peak is pretty interesting because we did get quite a bit of consolidation on the first initial pump of this move. So I'm going to go over to my side here.
Well, I do want to show you one thing before you jump on it, because you asked what could bring us down. There are some things that could bring us down this week. One is going to be on, I believe, Thursday. Yes, Thursday, guys. Core PCE price index.
Woo.
PCE is the #1 factor that the Federal Reserve looks at for raising, lowering, or pausing rate levels, the Fed rate. And right now, you can see that on the PCE, we're looking at a 0.4 on this consensus and a 0.3 on the forecast. We were previously at 0.2. This higher PCE is indicative of higher inflation.
Okay.
So, yep. So I am definitely watching this closely, bringing this in here. Core PCE prices in the U.S. exclude food and energy, rose by 2% in the previous month. This was back on the previous one that I just showed you. And so this literally is the cost of goods, not counting food or energy. So that being what we're seeing there of a 0.4, I mean, that's doubling the PCE rate, which is going to give the Fed a lot of reason to not cut rates any sooner. And then I'm pretty sure that when that happens, we're going to see that FOMC rate schedule push all the way out to like November, December before you even get a glimpse of what looks like a rate cut. And that's going to be bearish on the market. If you're looking for what will bring the market down, that's it.
That'll be it. Is that PCE? Because I think I also saw on that is that we have GDP as well. Is that Wednesday GDP?
Wednesday is going to be, let's see here. Yeah, GDP growth rate also.
Yeah, so
that's slowing down too. Not negative, not negative like we've had in the past, but definitely is slowing down. It's 3.3, 3.3. It was previously at 4.9. So, but that is the quarter over quarter estimate. The GDP index, we're actually looking at it being significantly lower, almost half as low. So,
I see that. Yeah, that's
Wednesday
pretty interesting.
And Thursday this week, strap in.
Yeah, it's like those. I've learned to make sure those are like no trade days, even like if how desperate I want to. Like it's for me, it's like even like a day like today, like where psychology is so important. If you miss that initial pump, today would have been nice. Okay, you could have pressed long, even halfway up this pump, and you would have been okay. However, a lot of the time, you get these pumps, and then you get those quick snapbacks, and they grab liquidity along the way for everybody who's late to the show, right? So. Even today, like we did give the trade setup this morning, and that was a great setup. Like it banged. However, it's like most of the time when you get these pumps, you know, you get up to resistance, and we did get a couple of stops along the way where it'll bounce back and it'll knock you out or it'll liquidate you if you're over leveraged. And I think it's important to be disciplined, right? Like a lot of the time, whenever I reach out to you, it's like, how do I implement discipline? Like I'm a carpenter by trade, and I have some pretty good, like, you know, I show up early, I'm ready to work, I have my pouch on by start time, like all these things that I've built into kind of my routine that has transferred over into trading. But when it comes to discipline, it's about who has more than someone in the army, right? So it's like I always talk about
most of us do. Not all.
The ones that I befriend do. But yeah, it's like, how can we learn from people who are doing it, right? And I think that's the greatest thing about collaborating and having like-minded friends, and this kind of narrative that you and I have been trying to build, where it's like the trauma and drama-free kind of trading and investing and community,
Fact.
right?
Fact.
Right. That's
unless
it.
it's Trade Fly who's trying to fight Ben Armstrong in the next karate championship.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like when I met my missus, when I met my Amy, and if you guys didn't know, Army has an Amy as well. So we're doing all right. We both got a good Amy.
That's right. Got great Amy's. That's right.
I swore that I was no longer a violent man because in Canada, it's like, I don't know, you drop the gloves and you get it on sometimes. And it's like, I wanted to be, I just didn't want to be like that anymore. Right. So, I mean, I couldn't even volunteer for this karate combat. Plus, I'm only 5'4", man. Like, I get my ass kicked.
There's something to be said about violence. It has a time and a place. But after four combat tours and one combat support tour, I don't want to be violent anymore. I just want to hang out with friends and chill and build relationships. That's all I want to do. So
that's the one, man. It's that peace, right? Let me see. I think I've messed up here. Yeah, I'm going to pull us. Yeah. Okay, there we go. I fixed it. I think I fixed it. It looks like you're... Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. Little technical difficulties. I had to turn my monitor off, but I was looking at my chart here, and I'm on the 1 hour. This morning, I did an update video of the break of this trend line, downwards trend line. We got the beautiful double bottom here just for the people here. How we got into this long trade setup, and it was almost too easy this morning. Like you got money flow crossover for me as a market cipher guy. You got continuation here. If you go over to the 4 hour, this is just a continuation of the bullish divergence that we got here. So we got these two lows. We got a higher high and a lower low here, right? Money flow was still red, but when money flow curved back up, right, we got this one test, a higher low, and then the continuation upwards. So this was pretty textbook this morning, just looking at it from a market cipher point of view. And we had this downwards flag that we were looking for a breakout of in either direction. Like we were ready to buy down below here, but for me, it was more like we're favoring longs. We know that we got bullish sentiment in the market, and it was actually a pretty simple trade. You got the VWAP crossover. You had so many things being like, okay, if we break out from here, we're off to the races, right? And it was pretty simple for the trade setup. Now, if I'm on the shorter term time frames, just going over to Chart Prime, like what I like to do is I always turn on my take profits, and that kind of gives me an idea. So I will use this as confluence here, where I got my double take profits here on my 15-minute, and that can kind of give me an idea that I'm looking for the long down here. And then it perfectly touched on my downwards trend line here of my flag, the middle line. So I got the perfect touch of the middle line. I got the double bottom. I got the reversal signal. I got money flow coming in. Like, it's just like, press buy now. Like, it was like that simple. But how is it that you explained to me that it was like, okay, this is a buy zone below this whole range, because you're more of a swing trader, right? And for me, I'm
a swing trader.
You know me from like trading wars. Like, this is like my shit, where I just like, I come in, I make my money, and I leave, right? So it's very important to really define what kind of trader you are, what's your risk sentiment, and all those things in order to be profitable. But I want to ask you, because you've made a pretty amazing move into stocks by selling a Bitcoin, which was controversial.
A Bitcoin.
Right?
Yes.
So do you want to explain that to the community and what you did?
Yeah. So I had 2 Bitcoin.
You want me to go over to your screen, or do you want to just explain it?
Well, we can talk it out here first.
Let's talk it out.
We'll come. You can bring us both up, and we'll just sit here and talk for a minute. We'll hang out and BS for a minute, and then we'll jump over to the screen so I can show what has happened since I made that move. Yeah, so we bought. I had 2 Bitcoin. I sold one, and I announced it to my community. I said, "Look, I'm selling my Bitcoin." It was on my thumbnail, right? And
I clicked it too, by the way.
exactly, it worked. Scott, I did it. Yes.
Yes.
So I sold 1 Bitcoin, and I said I'm moving into mining stocks. And let me actually pull up, and then we'll come over to a chart. But I want to show why I did what I did. It's the book charts, I believe. Yes, it is. There we go.
Okay, I'm
If
gonna
you wanna
swap
pull
over
that
to
up.
you. Yeah,
Yep.
man.
So on the left, I have Bitcoin, and on the right, I have CleanSpark. Okay. So if we go back here and we look in history, let me get this back to
I'll make
there. There we go.
myself.
Now it should all move together. There we go. Looking here at last Bitcoin cycle, and I did this versus Marathon for the first time. Okay. Because Marathon Digital was really the CleanSpark of last cycle. And I said, okay, so let's look at this. Bitcoin for the same time period of buying, you can see the bottom was here on CleanSpark right here. Okay. I mean, on Marathon Digital. If you look at about right here, where would be the bottom on Marathon, and you run this up, well, Bitcoin did a 2,100% move from its bottom to its top last cycle. Okay.
Yeah.
Marathon Digital did 21,000% last cycle, a 10x on Bitcoin. And I was like, okay, so what is the Marathon Digital of this cycle? And I figured that was CleanSpark. For
Okay.
transparency's sake, I do have a lot of other mining stocks, but by far my largest is CleanSpark that I'm holding.
Hmm.
So I went and looked at CleanSpark this cycle to see what it was doing for the cycle. And let's go back here and take a look. Yeah, there we go. From at the time that I did this, I was like, Bitcoin was up 209%.
Okay.
CleanSpark was up 605. I was like, this is following cycle of what Marathon Digital did. And if I'm going to sit here in Bitcoin, why not have 1 Bitcoin and the other 50% of my Bitcoin with Bitcoin exposure from something that's going to outperform?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to have no Bitcoin in your bag, right?
No, exactly. Like you always
Typically
want to
not,
have
right?
that one for the baby otter, right? Like that's my
Right, but
thought.
you also don't want your Bitcoin to be like a majority that you sit there and you watch it. Oh, look, it did 3x while my other stuff did 10x, right? So I was like, I want to make my Bitcoin exposure overlap with my Bitcoin to give me a greater return. And so I went into mining
That's
stocks and
smart.
told everybody on the show that I was doing it. Even since I did this move here,
Yeah.
where I went in, from there to now was another 43%. So obviously, if you look at when I did that with my Bitcoin to now, Bitcoin is up 14%. CleanSpark is up 44%.
I
So
think you're winning.
yeah, mining is winning right now.
My
So,
name is winning.
yeah,
Great
that was the move
success.
that I did, and it's just been asked. I mean, look here. Riot today is up 16.9%. I have all of these, by the way.
Yeah.
MicroStrategies up 15.8. TerraWolf up 15.2. Cypher up 12.2. Stronghold Digital's up 7.7%. Marathon's up 21.6%. Iris Energy is up 11.8, and Hut 8 is up 17.9. CleanSpark's up almost 24% today alone. So yeah, I definitely made the right move in my opinion of selling 1 Bitcoin, keeping a little Bitcoin exposure.
Yeah.
I'll never sell that thing. I'm going to be the guy that has the 1 bedroom house in the middle of downtown surrounded by skyscrapers because I refuse to sell it to the institutional growth around
That's
me.
the one, bro. That's the one.
But yeah, I mean, it's crushed it. Moving half of my Bitcoin into this. A lot of people were like, I don't know that I would do that. And when I showed them the math and I showed them the reasoning, and now I can show them the receipts.
The receipts,
From
man.
the pudding. Yeah, it's it.
So this is the time where I get to say, hey, Otter Gang, if you're not, which I know a lot of you are, but I mean, this crew of people, Piper Academy, I have it up on my screen here. If you're not following, I mean, I listen to them every morning, right? I do my little update video now, but I always am listening to this because me, I'm not a fundamentals guy. I'm not here to break down whatever CPP, RPP, GPP, DPP. You got to hold PPP, whatever. right? So if you're not following Piper Academy, you know, this is like family to me. Make sure you're subscribed to these guys. I mean, every morning, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time for me. You're Mountain Time, right?
Yeah, I'm Mountain Time.
And like, I
I'm
mean,
down here in the El Paso Desert Mountains.
that's the one. We've got the north and the south covered. Piper and the Otter gangs. We've got both sides covered, man. So you guys are protected. You're insulated with the Otters and the Piper Academy. So please go over and subscribe. Check out the morning show. It's amazing. I mean, we've done collabs. We're planning on doing an Ethereum video together. I've done some work on that, so that's going to be pretty good. We did a Bitcoin price prediction. Some of us have some pretty astronomical numbers. Some of us are pretty
Right there
even
it is.
keel, right?
Look at that screen. Look at that. Look at the views on that thing, man. We crushed it.
That's it. 15,000 views, man. We crushed that video. That was amazing. Lunar Beach's crypto there as well. You guys know that, friend of the channel. But go over and sub to Piper's Academy, where you can get information like this, where not only is Piper sharing his portfolio, but he's sharing what he's doing with his portfolio. You guys know with me, I always share what I'm doing. I announce when I'm buying. I announce when I'm selling, right? And these are the kind of people you want to be around, because let's face it, the industry is full of these people telling you to buy these things and not really sharing what they're doing and how they're doing it. And in my opinion, they're looking to rug people like us, right? And be their liquidity.
If you pull up my my screen,
yep, I'm going over
you'll
there
actually
now.
see. Yeah, so this was back a post that I did back on October 21st. Okay. And I told everybody because I had sold off when it hit 31.4. There was a really strong trend line there, historical resistance. I said, if we don't break this and we pull back, I'm going to sell at this point. And I did. I sold it around 31K, bought back. I sold everything, bought everything back in at around 26K on that pullback that it had. This is all last year. And then I sat on my money forever, waiting for me to get the indicators to say, hey, it's time, right? Reading the charts, right? Reading the fundamentals, reading the sentiment. And so I set it all in USDC, making that lovely 5% on USDC on Coinbase, just raking in that money, free money, right?
Free money is good, man.
Free money is great, man. And so I sat there and waited until I saw the indications. And so on October 20th, I told the community over Investing Bros, because I didn't have a show at the time. I just started it, just started it up and didn't really have a following. So I was still in Investing Bros community a lot. I'm still over there a lot. I was over there today. But yeah, talking to them, and I said, hey guys, I'm starting to DCA, leaving some dry powder still. And then I also said, here's what I'm buying: Bitcoin, ETH, ADA, Link, XLM. Got to move some Bitcoin over from Robinhood, pick up some others on Coinbase. And that's when I started building my portfolio back, was back in October 20th. So if you look at the charts from October 20th to now, let's go back here. Let's go on the daily over here and just go see it, where that was at. Let's see here. That's January. October 20th was down here.
There we go, bud.
So yeah, I told him back then, I was like, guys, I'm looking at buying here.
That's it.
I'm getting in. So that's what I make sure of. And I will always make sure of that is, full transparency. I'm not going to leave anyone hanging. Just like Eric Wallen said today, let me know when you sell your clean spark, please. Don't forget me. And I told him 100% transparency, man. I will not make a move to buy, and I will not make a move to sell without telling anyone who wants to listen. So
yeah, no, that's beautiful, man. And that's it, right? Like, I have receipts too. I'm just print screening one of them right now. And this was 0601. I got a couple here, man. But this was my big buy, where I bought 10K render, 10K ADA, 10K Matic, 50K ETH. And I shared it with everyone as well. And I have receipts as well, right? Where I say, hey, I'm buying this stuff. call me crazy.
The viewers don't know, Alex. They don't know that you and I are going to have pimped out golf carts in about 3 years.
I was out playing golf yesterday, man. I can't wait till this. I mean, we're getting 13 degrees up in Canada on Thursday, so I might sneak out, man. Got to get in those rounds before the baby otter shows up.
Absolutely. We've passed around some great pictures of custom golf carts, just joking around. But there's a tone of seriousness to some of these golf carts. I'm just saying.
Golf is a lucrative industry, man. Maybe we'll move the shift over, man, one day. Otters and golf carts. I don't know how well that'll work, but it's gonna be a good ride.
Do you have that picture? You keep it on your screen. I'm gonna go look for this picture of the otter golf cart so the audience can see it, because it's hilarious.
It's good, man. But yeah, I mean, like, this is what it's all about, is us being transparent, sharing what we're doing. Tradefly says golf cart with some snow tires for the otter. I think we'll put tracks on it. Just saying. We can have a golf cart tank. And maybe it fires golf balls because my shot's no good.
Look, if you're gonna do that and this happens, you might have, I would say we'll both relocate to a place with good weather, but if that's in the US, then you might need your golf cart to be up armored like a tank. Just saying.
Are we switching over to yours now? Do you got the golf carts?
No, not yet. I'm looking for the picture still. We have a long chat history here, man. Very long chat history.
After I said I bought 20K BTC, 10K render, 10K ADA, 10K Matic, 50K ETH, 10K Sol, I said, call me crazy, but this is, by the way, it's only Canadian, so it's only like $4 US.
It's all in Canadian.
The exchange rate's not too bad. It's like a buck, $1.40. I have it here. Mrs. Otter gets paid in USDT, so. If you guys don't mind, throw some alts in the chat. If you guys are looking at anything, we will we'll do some blitz TA for you guys as well. I'm gonna jump over to Piper's chart, but yeah, throw that in the chat and we'll look at some things for you guys.
So we got the golf carts here. That's you fighting the bear. That's you breaking your golf club. Here we go. Let me get. There's one with the Billy Goat. There's the Billy Goat
Tails golf cart.
The Billy Goat Tails.
Look at the
Bitcoin
rims
golf
on
cart.
that.
We got that one in there. We've got my the Army Piper Bitcoin golf cart
with the turret up top for when David moves his
golf cart. Bitcoin Otter golf cart right there. So
bud.
And there's Trade Flies.
That's Trade Fly.
There you go. So
that's
then we also have the party bus. This is for all of us to get together on the golf course.
Yeah,
so,
we'll have the drink dispensers for you guys over there. Oh, that's great. Okay, someone requested Cass. I want you to look at Cass because that's your territory, man. That's your territory.
That's my baby. Bam. There we go. Another T box there. Is my chart up? Am I up?
Yep, you're good to go, man. You're good to go.
Cool. All right, so I've got my T box here, my green T box that I've been talking about for a while, saying, hey, this is going to be our range of support, right? And we come down multiple times, bouncing on it. And you can see again, there is that trade band, that gold trade band that was resistance. This is the bottom one, though, not the top. There's a delta line in between. You'll see that right here. If I bring this down, there's the delta way up there. For the new people that have not seen this, what this is a trend-based fib extension.
I love it.
Shout out to Lunar Beaches on all the lines. I was actually calling down here at 4.5 cents to buy Caspa to my community. Mr. J was one of the people that was around back then. It was like, I said, this is not financial advice, but you need to buy Caspa for your wallet now. And that was the last time you could have got it at 4.5 cents. So, I watched it hit this long running trend line here. I've got all of these trend-based fib extensions on here that are running all the way up. And I said, okay, let's see here and how I place this just so that you guys are tracking. I put extensions of the golden pocket. So the 618, so it's a 1.618, a 2.618, 3 points, over and over and over. And it's based on 3 points of the trend-based extension, right? We have a trend, right? Trend-based fib extensions. That's what it is. That's why it's called that.
That's my favorite tool, man. I don't know if Lunar Beaches gave you a lesson in it, but I've always used that tool. Maybe he got it from me. I'm not going to take credit, but I always do price discovery with trend-based fib extensions.
Yes.
So
so when I was with the Gem Hunters last year, early 2022, with Crypto Archie and Crypto Seth and all them, that's why they brought me on, because nobody was able to do TA on small cap gems that were in price discovery, parabolic runs. And I was like, that's easy. Trend-based fib extensions. That's how you do that.
That's
right?
the one.
Also, did with NVIDIA to call my entry on NVIDIA when I got into that before the earnings report. So, because it was in price discovery, right? So looking here, though, I saw that we were getting nice price action plays here later on after I got into that 4.5. And if you go up and look at where we are now, I've been watching this rejection on the phase 9 618. Can I get a draw tool? On that phase 9, we got a little break above it, pulled back in, retested, and then down it came. I said, this is likely going to be our T box. This is your entry zones again. And so I drew that T box on there. Shout out Tim Warren again, TA Tim and his rectangle boxes. I love them. They work great. I said, this is likely going to be where we get back in there. And if we take a look, we have a nice trend line here. We broke below it, but still got that candle close right there on that T box on that phase 8 golden pocket. I'm watching this trend line because I think that we're going to be coming up here. And what do you have here? Well, that's an ascending wedge, and that typically breaks to the upside. So I'm watching this very closely. My target on this right now would be the 17.8. Once we break that and get confirmation above it and don't fall back under like we did here on the retest, if we get a solid retest on this, you're easily looking at 19.4. And let's top it off, you would be above that trade band. So if we have support here that's not pulling us back down like we did here, then we're going to be looking at the trade band being in cycle. And guys, that trade band's coming in all the way at the top at 21.7
I like that. That's crazy. I mean, we were screaming to buy Caspa at 10 cents, man. We were screaming at people. We were screaming.
I was doing it at 4.5.
I know you were 4.5. And you had that amazing call on the pullback. But then when we did consolidate at 10 cents, I was like, buy, please. And then I'm not one to just yell at people and say buy. I'll never do that. But when we make the calls and we've been consistent, it's we're allowed to toot our horn when we're helping people, I think. It's the only way, right? But I do like that for Cass, and I do like that trend line. And yeah, if we hold here and we get above that, 17.2-ish area, I got 19, 20 cents, man. That's going to be quite the ride, man. It's been beautiful movement for Caspa, and it's about these beautiful, beautiful narratives, right? Like if you can follow a narrative, like you can maximize your profits. I believe just from what I've seen and what I've learned. So I'm going to go over to
I think Caspa easily hits $5 this cycle. I think that Caspa is in the top 20 I think Caspa is in the top 10. It's already pushing hard to get into the top 20. I think it's in the top 10. I think it hits that target. And I think that there's like an easy 20x from here right now. So
read it and weep, man. You heard it here, man. It's
my third largest bag, by the way. It's not because of how much I put into it. It's because of when I bought it. It has moved up to my third largest bag.
Wow.
The only thing that I have more of than Caspa is Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yeah. Oh, dang. That's your third largest holding. That's wild, man. That's wild. Mine is, Bitcoin, Ethereum, then Link. And I mean,
I have a lot of Chainlink too.
Oh, it's a good time to be in the
I have
industry,
a lot of
man.
Chainlink.
Yeah, you got to have a lot of Link. Mr. Link hat himself. I'm wearing a carpenter's hat, man. This is what I'm trying to break away from.
That's the pre-crypto blue collar hat. This is the post-crypto blue collar hat. That's what that is.
That's the one, man. So someone asked for Solana. I'm gonna swap over to my chart here, and if you want to do injective, that would be great.
I gotcha.
Awesome. So Solana here, we had the downwards trend line, as you can see on my chart here. Let me just, I'm going to give Army Piper shrinkage right now on my chart so I can, you heard it here. So
Give me shrinkage. Hey, I told everybody this morning live on the air, it's okay to have a little Pepe. So,
everybody needs, it's okay to have a little Pepe. You made me laugh this morning. It's okay if you have a little Pepe, if you have a big old bag of crypto.
That's right.
So you can see Solana downwards trend line here broke out. You got all the signs pointing up, right? So you have the momentum waves, anchor, trigger, firing off, right? You didn't get as big as a tell here as if you did on Bitcoin. So if you go into the 15 here, you can kind of see where this began. You got that sell-off into this key level of support. We had a buy signal here where we're looking for Solana to continue up. Now, your key support on Solana is going to be right around this $107 area. Now, I do believe Crypto Lifer just dropped 100 grand on Solana. He just shared a receipt on Twitter. So I think he's calling for a $1,000 Solana. Crypto Lifer is. And he just dropped 100 G's on Solana. So, I mean, I respect people who put their money where their mouth is, man. Like, no matter what, like, that's conviction, right? That's conviction. And you can see that we came up, we blasted through the golden pocket. We've gotten a rejection down here of the range. However, we have broken into this previous range that was being traded before we kind of had a mini sell-off here on Solana. So you can see, as long as we remain really above this 107 and continue to trade within this range up here, I don't see why not Solana finds support here at 107 and continues to march its way upwards. Solana, the key resistances are going to be 112 and then this 116. Okay, in these previous highs, we do have some levels above us, but right now we want to see Solana gather some support here. So it's had that big push like everything else has in the market. But remember, Piper said, and we were warning you about GDP and is it PPE on Thursday?
PCE.
PCE. See, this is why you guys got to go over on the morning show on Piper's, because he'll not only fill you in what all these beautiful PCE, PPE, GBC things are, but he'll actually educate you on what they do to the markets and how they have effects, okay? I will always let you know that they're coming. However, I believe Piper has a much better understanding of fundamentals than I do, and it's okay because I get to learn from him, and then I get to translate. That's why I got an evening show. I could get the information from you because I watch it every morning, and then I could translate it to the Otter gang in my otter noises that I tend to make. See? So
that's okay. I do that with Lunar Beaches while I'm prepping my show. I listen to his video from before me. So
there we go. Right? It's a collective.
We're just all feeding off each other. You know,
that's the one. That's the one. So we look for Solana to hold here and continue its march up. I do believe Solana will be bullish. The narrative is strong. However, right now I'm pretty much becoming an ETH maxi because of this Dencun upgrade. And guys, it's inevitable. The ETH ETF is on its way. Now let's jump over to Piper's chart.
So looking at Injective here, we have a really strong rejection level up here. That is going to be the 236. Let me try to make these a bit bigger for you. There we go. Nice. We do have a 236 right here coming in at about $37.81. That's going to be resistance there. We also have the trend assistant coming here, and you can see it's red. When we have that red trend assistant, it means that we're still continuing a red cycle. And it's been this whole sideways action here that every time we touch it, we reject back down. It's not good that we're sitting below that. So Injective, not looking as strong to me as a lot of other stuff out there. Matter of fact, I think that might be one of the ones that that Crux told me to swap out. We were talking before the show about some portfolio changes that I'm making, and I think Injective is one of the ones that I sold off for that. Not sure. But I did take profit. It is up from when I bought way back in the day. But right now, what I'm watching is a couple of things. One, We do have, we are coming up pretty high here into the bearish zone of the oscillator. You can see the last time we got up here, we actually printed this little overbought area and we had this massive pullback. The last time before that was here, we had a little pullback, but that was because the dynamic reactor gave us that little trampoline bounce that happens a lot of times with the dynamic reactor.
Which is amazing, by the way. The dynamic reactor is absolute fire.
Yeah, it is. It crushes it, man. When you get above it and you get a retest on it, great entry point for that long move, right? What I'm watching here for it, though, bro, is I'm watching that we get up here a little bit. I think it can go up a little bit higher. We are getting the retest right here on this predictive range here, and that predictive range line is actually the lower support, which is now support. It was resistance for us. Yeah. So I'm going to be watching for us to get a nice little bounce off of this. That will give us the continuation of this wave up into here to get the little order blocks going, those little orange order blocks, and that will be a rejection off of here to come back again and probably test this. Or this trend line. You can see this auto-printed trend line here from the Market Dynamics Pro that's going to be coming in right in that range also. So the little confluence of that double wave there, maybe the predictive, the dynamic reactors up in that window also. Be a good spot to come over, grab my little rectangle box here. Where are you, rectangle box? It is not there. Where is my rectangle? Oh, there we go. I was like, what is going on here?
It disappeared on
We're going to drop that box in like right in this range there. And that's going to be what I watch for our bounce box to get into another long. If it breaks that, guys, very easily could be resetting everything we have going on this chart. And that would look something like this. Let me clean this off. Because we have the RSI primed, which is this down here. It's basically an RSI turned into candlesticks instead of a line. And then I have those candlesticks set up on Heikin-Ashi candles. You can see they started getting real thin here. That means a loss of volume. That average candle size getting really tight, and then down it comes. That's exactly what happened here. We had that max profit print there, the overbought, and then collapse, right? I'm going to be watching for these candles here to get thin again. And when they start to get thin on this RSI prime and these candles are getting smaller and smaller, then that will mean that we are definitely going to be coming back down to the downside, just like we did here, The
That's
distance
beautiful.
on that is going to be dependent upon that range box that I just drew on there holding. So that's what I got for injective, bro.
Thank you so much. My camera just froze, and I was able to do a NASCAR unplug, replug, broadcast fix while you did that. So shout out to my camera.
It stopped king right there.
It keeps messing up, man. I don't know what to do with it. The USB thing is like just misbehaving. But if you want to do Jazz Me next, and then I'm gonna do Rune right now. Now we did have a pretty good call on this consolidation on Rune, and then maybe a couple more guys, and then we'll close this off with a discussion if you guys don't mind.
I just took profit on Rune today and closed out of Rune.
No way.
Yes.
So this is old TA. Look at this Piper. I mean, it was given. It was given. I said, if this holds, we could be looking for upside. And look, it held beautiful double bottom here. Yep. Continuation, anchor, trigger, money flow curving back up. I mean, it was written in stone, basically. And also, I believe with this, if we go over to your dynamic reactor, I just want to show people this magic, okay? If we go over to dynamic reactor on the 3 hour on Bitcoin, I think I was using this for Confluence too. Was it the 3 hour or the 1 hour? I think it was the 1 hour. So it was calling all these lows. It was probably the 2 hour. Anyways, it bangs anyways. I don't need to explain myself. A lot of people think it's a moving average, which it definitely is not. It's a lot more than that, and it works so well on Market Oracle Pro. So I do love, I really do love Oracle Pro, man. That's I believe the strongest chart prime indicator. But looking at Rune here, you got the double bottom holding of this key level of support that we gave, and then you can see this massive move up. It didn't even retrace from here. It just continued to hold support. So you can see it got the push up, held support. It's gotten the push up right now to where we're trading at right now. So with Rune, we are we are aware that we're getting into no man's land. Now, what do I mean by that? Is that we had all these levels of support, as you can see down below. My chart looks a little bit clustered. However, you can see that we haven't come back and tested all these areas up here. So for me, I'm going to pull volume across here, and I'm going to identify some shelves, right, where we're looking for touches, so that we can probably look for a reaction on price within this range. Now, this is what I like to do just to kind of get an idea of where we think price is going. So you can see overall that Rune has had that massive push up. However, it has been really dragged down as of late. Let me pull a fib from the top to the bottom here. And yeah, we've gotten up to the golden pocket from before. So we would look for this to be a very critical level of resistance. Now that's going to be right at that psychological $6 level. So I'd be watching that like a hawk in order for us to continue. And then we also have on Rune this level that we've held here at $5.64. 5 cents. Okay, and we'll look for that as our next level of support. We can see that we did hold this level below us here, and we've pushed up since that, flipped this to support, and continue the march upwards. So the key level to get above right now is to get above this high here, change market structure, and see that continuation upwards. So you really want to see a stronger push from Rune getting above $6. Okay, and that's going to be indicative of a bigger move up. Now, what did you say about selling your Rune, Piper?
I said I sold some Rune and I moved it over into, I don't remember what I moved it into. I'd have to look here, but I sold Rune and I moved it over into, I think Arbitrum.
Okay.
I think.
I like that play. I like that
it's
play.
a good move. I think Arbitrum's going to really play out well as a layer 2. I think that's why you're not seeing a whole lot of movement from Polygon Matic, is because of optimism in Arbitrum. So
yeah, yep. It's taking the hype, man. They're new and they're fancy and they're shiny.
Big facts.
So Jasmine, you also sold your Jasmine and put it into something else as well, didn't you?
I did. I put that into Jasmine went into ICP. So Jasmine went into ICP.
ICP has been suppressed down to $12.
It's okay. What's that?
ICP has been suppressed in comparison to Jasmine.
I think so. And I made a good run on my Jasmine. So we got a nice bounce here, guys. I'm actually pretty bearish on Jasmine. It's why I went ahead and took my profit and sold off and converted over, because we got a nice bounce here. And you can see right there, there's that MP. That means max profit. It printed right at the bottom saying, hey, this is it. We're reversing, right? We got that bounce off of that 382. We came up and we started to get close to the golden pocket, our previous rejection point. By the way, these fibs are running all the way back to the top back here when we had the cycle top back here. Well, not cycle top, but a retracement back up in April of 2022. So that is the range that we're looking at here right now. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
On these the larger
fibs, the time frame, the better the data, man. The stronger the areas of resistance, right?
And you can see that entire pump up rejected perfectly on the 618. Like it just said, nah, get out of here, fam.
Yeah, exactly.
Knocked it down, lost the 50% line. If you're below the 50, if you can't get above the 50% fib, you're bearish. That's just all there is to it. There's no ands, if, or buts about it. There's no way to cut it differently. If you can't break the 50, you're bearish. Okay. So looking at this bearish motion that happened here, I decided, okay, we can't even keep above this. It's probably time for me to do this. And I actually did this morning. I sold my Jasmine after my live stream and moved it over to ICP. So because I do believe Jasmine could be retracing back to this 382. It would make sense because we also have the trend assistant down there. Give a nice retest of that. Worst case scenario, though, what I'm looking at here, and I'll go ahead and draw it on so you guys can see it. It's going to be the dynamic reactor down here at the 236. I don't want to see it retrace that much. I actually think that most likely what we'll see is a break down to this box, and this is going to be a retest of the 382. Can you draw it for me? Thanks.
Alt-Shift-R.
There we go. Alt-Shift-R. I have a Mac, man. I don't know what Alt is. But it's there. There you go. There's the two boxes, the ranges of support that I'm watching there. If we take a look at what's going on here on the Oscillator Pro and on the RSI Prime also, you'll see everything's just kind of sitting in this indecisive state right now. They're getting this really tight cloud here in the middle. Now, if this cloud was getting tight like this down here, I'd be super bullish. If this cloud was getting super tight up here, I'd be super bearish. Like, you see how tight it got there? Downside movement, right?
Yeah, man.
But we're getting this in the middle, so it's very indecisive too, which means it can literally go in any direction to get a breakout of this. But when I look here at the RSI Prime, kind of sitting in the middle too, and we get all these small candles, and the fact that we have pumped so much and have not retested some of these lower levels, it just leads me to believe that this breakdown is going to go this way with the cloud. The RSI Prime is going to come back there. Maybe once it gets down there, I'll look at getting back in on that 236 on Jasmy. But for right now, I'm a little bearish on Jasmy after the move that it's had.
Yeah.
Took my profits and walked away. I mean, no one's ever gone broke taking profits.
That's
so
it,
I'd rather
man.
be safe than
That's
sorry,
it. I
so.
think that's a big lesson for a lot of people to learn is that, you know, pay yourselves, right? I mean, I've bought things on spot. Beam was one of them where I bought, I sold, I bought, I sold, and I mean, I'm paying myself $5,000 a pop, man, and I've held it through this pump because it went before where I was ready to sell, so I was like, okay, moon bag, right? But I took the initial investment out, right? And having a moon bag like that, it's you don't go broke that way. You get, you know, that secured capital, right? And then you can redeploy, right? And the FOMO of like missing a move on something else, well, you have that capital to deploy it there, right? I think that's so important. It's like is participating in the game and really working on that mindset where you're not putting yourself, you know, like I'm sure there's a bunch of people in the chat who've missed the move today and they're like, oh man, I'm never going to buy Bitcoin, you know, for 50K
Crypto Savvy
anymore.
has definitely missed the move.
Right?
Look, I love Crypto Savvy. I've talked to him before. He's a good guy, but he's either been wrecked or he is not telling people what he's doing behind the scenes with his wallet, man. There's no way. Like, he would be wrecked by now if he was as bearish as his videos say. Like,
yeah, man. No, I totally agree. Like, it's who you're listening to, right? And it's like, what are they doing? And like, how much are they invested? Are they really invested? Like for me, I have, you know, at least over 4 or 5 Bitcoins, right? So I'm not trying to like gloat or anything, but I'm in this to win this, right? And I want to share with people. And I know you're in this to win this. And that transparency and that honesty is what it's all about.
Yes,
my
sir.
last question with you is, what is your feeling on Ethereum? And do you have a price target for Ethereum within the, like, where you think, because Bitcoin got up to 50K, it's consolidating. Me, I'm eyeing up, my level is 35.23 is my level for Ethereum, where I'm looking for it to kind of consolidate and stop from this massive pump. And then clearly, I'm looking at Arbitrum and Optimism to follow suit, which have been suppressed. Especially, I think Optimism has a lot of legs to go. But what are your thoughts on Ethereum, Arbitrum, and Optimism as a whole? Because I'm super bullish on ETH.
I'm very bullish on ETH. It's my largest bag. I actually had a thing on Ethereum, and I don't know where it's at, but I actually talked about $3,000 Ethereum like back in November, December time period.
Yep.
I don't see it on here, but yeah, I don't see it on here on the thumbnail. I must have talked about it on the show, but I gave that level based on the fact that we were breaking the golden pocket. If we go to daily, it was when we broke it the first time here, and then we pulled back down, obviously, but we caught great support on the 100-day moving average.
Yep.
Back here in January. It was December that I said, if we hold this level, we're heading to 3K. And because of that, the reason for that was because my 786 is sitting at $3,003. Right now, I'm in the immediate short-term future, I'm looking at 3275 psychological number. It's going to be the 887. And what I want to see is we get up here and then we hold the the 786 at 3,000, and this is our range for a while of consolidation. That would be the most bullish thing I could see happen with Ethereum. But little sneak peek for a video that we got coming soon from me, you, the whole team at Piper Academy, and Dave from Lunar Beaches Crypto.
Sneak peek.
I may have done a thing. I may have done a thing with Ethereum very similar to what I've done on the history of Bitcoin here. You'll see the market bottoms of Ethereum, guys, held the golden pockets again, which means that we've got good sequencing going on here. And what I'm actually looking at on Ethereum is I think Ethereum is going to get back up above this 236 here. And I actually have a green target line in here that I believe is going to be kind of like a sub level in between the fibs of the 1-to-1. The 0-to-1 and that 236, but I'm actually looking at this cycle top for Bitcoin for Ethereum. I mean, being minimum $10,500. Upside of this is 20 grand. So if you even go anywhere in between this range here, you're looking at about an average call $15,000 Ethereum. So
man, we're getting some golf carts, man.
You got it here first. You got to watch the Ethereum prediction video. Yeah. Everyone else's predictions. But yeah, there's my call on Ethereum long term. So,
and that was bullish. January 6th, where I announced I was buying another 50K Ethereum. So I thought I was a genius because then it pumped and then it dumped and it's pumped again. So, I mean, that's the calls, right? We're transparent. We're killing it. Right now, I'm eyeing up, getting above 3285, and then 3500, and then I'm going to keep my Ethereum price prediction everybody's saying 10K Ethereum. Okay, let's face it, everybody's saying 10K Ethereum. However,
I think those are rookie numbers.
I think
we're gonna need you to pump those up.
Yeah. I don't think you've left the sandbox if you're talking those little rookie numbers, right? So you've had it here. You've had my dear friend Piper. Army Piper on the channel, guys. Dude, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your time and your alpha with this channel. And guys, if you're not following Army Piper, I don't know what you're doing, man. But yeah, thank you, my man. We're going on your show Friday. We'll show up for you as we always do. And I'm very, very grateful to have you in my corner and on my side. And anything you need, you know I'm there, brother.
Absolutely. You too, man. I appreciate you, your friendship and your content and just who you are, your honesty, your humility and honesty every day, man, is warming. And I am glad to be in your circle of friends. So yeah, Friday, though, NAFTA. We're back with NAFTA again.
Let's go.
We've got Canada. We've got Mexico from the OC guy, me and TradeFly representing the U.S.
That's it. We have to be outnumbered, right?
Well, America has to have two people representing because, it takes two of us to carry the ego of America. So there you
go. Well, thank you so much, man. We're going to shut it down from here. And guys, can I say it, Piper? Am I allowed to say it?
Go for it, bro. You take it.
Guys, use a fucking stop loss.
On the come up, better sit low. The product base, but it drip though. Pocket fat when the chips low. Alexo, crypto, fit the party like a disco. Fan base like my wallet, yo. Stay true to the digital. Alexo, crypto. Alexo, crypto. Alexo, crypto. Alexo, crypto. What you know about juice? Making the moves that'll flow casual, breaking the news. Revenue proof, a building portfolios, taking well over exceptional pain. I'm trapping this game, so participation ain't a hard knock. I put in the work so you got knowledge. You ain't drawing with luck when you following us. The result is a pan full of fat pockets. Bada bang, that's an outer gang with an auto flame, with a lot of hate. Get above the lane, ain't about the trade. Help another trader, get another play. They playing God so pretentious. Drapes in these waters forbidden. Well, indeed, that's a felony. Don't look at me, but it's TRB. crypto. Pocket fat when the chips low. Alexo, crypto. Fit the party like a disco. Fan base like my wallet, yo. Stay true to the digital. Alexo, crypto. On the come up, better sit low. The product base, but it drip though. Pocket fat when the chips low. Alexo, crypto. Fit the party like a disco. Fan base like my wallet, yo. Stay true to the digital. Alexo, crypto. Alexo, crypto. Alexo, crypto. Alexo, crypto. Alexo, crypto.